I read Blood Over Bright Haven by M.L. Wang. Let's talk about it. This is a fantasy dark academia novel about Siona, who is the first woman to be accepted as a high mage. And throughout the book, her and her assistant Tamil discover the violent history of the institution that they are working in. Now, this book was really disappointing for me in a lot of ways. I will first and foremost say that it is written very well. The first chapter in this book immediately grabbed me and I was intrigued. I was in the story, but then the more that I read, the more that I learned about Siona, I just was very disappointed in her throughout the entire book. While Siona does learn information that changes how she acts, she's still, by the end of the book, very egotistical, self-centered, is willing to put her own glorification and her desire to be remembered in history over the people that she supposedly cares about, and in this case, over people who are in desperate need of care. Part of me did consider that maybe that was the point, because Siona doesn't get a lot of time to fully digest the information that she's given and then evolve and change so it's beneficial. There's a lot of good conversation that has come out of this and can come out of this about academic institutions, the way that it's tied to religion, the way that it's tied to oppression and oppressing people. If we look at this a bit more critically, we can also have a conversation about how white feminism, white liberalism, and the need to be a savior does a lot more harm than good to marginalized communities. I also hated the romance subplot in here. I actually found it a bit distasteful. Like, I think we could have completely done without it. It did not add anything for me, and it just felt so wrong for the type of dynamic that Siona and Tamil had, for them to then have this seemingly random romance subplot. I do still understand why people love this book. I rated this 3.5 stars. Again, the writing was very good. There were a lot of creative, artistic choices that I loved throughout the entire book, but it was just the plot. It was the lack of character development for me, paired with the topic and the severity of what is being discussed in this book. I thought those things fell flat. I am glad that I read this book. I think it gave me a little bit more to think about when it comes to reading morally gray characters or characters that I don't necessarily like. And I'm also just interested in reading more of M.L. Wang. I did put Sword of Kaigen on my TBR, and I will likely read more of M.L. Wang's work as she continues to publish.